Hey church family, we wanted to take the opportunity for this midweek update to share with you something that the youth group has been doing in Sunday school recently. So we've gotten into the book of Habakkuk, and much like how if you found a new coffee shop or you found a really, really good place for lunch and it's so good that you can't keep it to yourself, that's how we feel. We want to invite you to take a journey with us as we're studying the book of Habakkuk. It is a really short Old Testament prophet. It'll only take you about 20 minutes to read. It's only 3 chapters long. But in this tiny little book is God's prophet questioning, God, where are you when things seem like they're out of control? God, where are you when it feels like injustice is prevailing? God, where are you when it seems like the unbelievers have a better life and it seems like they're winning? I don't know how your quarantine has been. I don't know how you're dealing with the recent events in our culture. But I want to encourage you this morning, because as God's prophet comes to him and he asks them these questions, hear the beginning of God's answer in Habakkuk 1 verse 5. God says this, "Look at the nations and watch. Be utterly amazed. For I am doing something in your days that you would not believe, even if you were told." God gives his prophet a call to faith. God gives his prophet confidence in the very person of God that says, look and see how I am at work. Because God is doing something that we wouldn't believe even if we were told. And what's funny is in the book later, God goes on to describe how he's actually going to use methods that Habakkuk the prophet never would have thought of. And the book is a constant call to faith in the midst of questioning, to faith in the midst of trials, to faith in the midst of what seems like injustice. And what's so cool is we're invited into that. We're invited to take the journey of faith with God's prophet. And God says, look through eyes of redemption. See that I am a God who is bringing all things together, who's redeeming all things for the glory of his name and for our good. That God has not forgotten his people, but rather invites them in to the very work that he is doing. And what's so cool for us is we can read this and we have so much more than the prophet Habakkuk does, because we have the cross. And we can look and see that if God could use the death of his son to bring about eternal salvation, to make a way for sinners to come to him, then he can use anything. So I want to encourage you this week. How can you look with eyes of redemption? How can you redemptively look into your life and see and ask the Lord to show you places where he is working, where he is moving? God is not idle in this time. He's not wasting this time. He's doing something. He is doing a work in our day as well that we wouldn't believe even if we were told, because we know the end of the story. We know that in the book of Revelation, God brings all things to himself and he says, behold, I'm making all things new. So I want to challenge you this week. How can you look redemptively at work? How can you look redemptively at home? How can you see redemptively your relationship with your spouse or your kids or your roommates through all of the quarantine, through all of the time home? God is doing something. And as your church, we love you and we're praying for you.